MVP. Goal swung, right field. Forget about it. Rangers strike first. Goes after the first one. Drills a high fly ball. Left center field. This game is tied. From Javier. Seager hits a high fly ball. Deep right field. A bomb in the first. One swing. Drive. It's tied. Seager smashes the ball. Down line. Goodbye. Now Seager to right center field. Way back there. Seager does it again. It's Texas Rangers win the World Series. The Willie Mays Most Valuable Player Trophy presented by Chevrolet. Is there any doubt? Corey Seager.
Hi, and welcome to another edition of Right on Rangers Live. Coming at you in the top of the 8th inning. Jacob deGrom dealing. Texas Rangers winning. 7-0 is the score. Jacob deGrom just retired in the bottom half of the 7th inning. Gary Sanchez, couple of walks allowed, looking slightly dicey there, albeit in a 7-run game. But look, Jacob deGrom, filthy as ever. 7 innings pitched, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts. Good night. Good night for Jacob deGrom. I can't help but think back to something that I've said many times about Jacob deGrom on the show. There's nobody else in the game of baseball. Absolutely nobody else in the game of baseball that I am taking in a do-or-die game over Jacob deGrom. Nobody. Skubal, Skeens, Mizorowski, whatever you say his name. There's nobody I'm taking in the game of baseball in a do-or-die game over Jacob deGrom up on that mound. Dude is phenomenal. People forget. I think people forgot just how good this man was. Remember at the beginning of the season, we were talking about Jacob deGrom, and there were some people that watched deGrom's first few starts and looked a little rusty, looked a little uneven, right? There were some people already starting to chirp, what was he washed? He doesn't quite look the same. All this nonsense getting thrown out as Jacob deGrom tried to settle in to his first full season since 2022. I mean, look, Jacob deGrom, this is his first really full season since 2022. He was going to need a minute. And sure enough, he has rattled off an insane amount of starts in a row, quality starts in a row tonight, right in that category. Look, I got to think that the Rangers probably stick to what they've been doing with Jacob deGrom. If I had to guess, I don't think deGrom is coming back out to finish the entire thing. Maybe, but look, this is where they've stopped him. They've stopped him right at 86 pitches. I'm not saying that I love it. Logan, appreciate the sub, by the way. I'm not saying that I love it, but I just have a feeling they probably stay the course with deGrom, and the course has been mid-80s, man. Mid-80s. Looks like they're making a phone call, video replay. We're doing a little play-by-play, but obviously, y'all, we're locked in on deGrom's performance here. What a close play. I think Evan Carter did beat it out there. Really surprised they didn't give tie to the runner. I know that's not a thing, but look, I do think it's in the umpires' minds quite often. They're doing a video review, 7-0 ball game. Bochy can laugh about it a little bit here. Look, today we have had a number of guys that have shown out, a number of dudes that have broken out tonight. Josh Jung, going to talk about him. And we're going to talk about a couple more guys that have had big days for Texas as they look to close out with a 2-out-of-3 game series victory. It is a good night to be a Texas Rangers fan. Am I right? And I'm glad y'all are here with me. First, here right on Rangers, we cover all things Texas sports. But especially the Rangers during the MLB season. Every game, every series, all year long. Thank you for choosing Right On Rangers for all of your Texas Rangers content. All right, still looking to New York for a decision here. By the way, drop a comment, drop a question. We'll be happy to get to it. Obviously, we are going to be a little bit more locked in on the game. I will make sure that post-game we get to as many comments and questions as we possibly can. Evan Carter ruled out, by the way. I don't know if I really agree with that call, but it's one of those where it's like just a little too close and the original call was out, so they're going to go with out. Yeah, I thought he was safe for sure. I'm not going to get too upset. It's a 7-0 ball game. Speaking of Josh Jung, here he is, man, 2 for 3. And Josh Jung, after I put out a little video on him a couple days ago, I always love it when this happens. We put out a little video on a player mentioning some of the struggles that said player is having. And instantly we get our first home run in 133 plate appearances. That is how long Josh Jung went without a home run. 30-plus games, 133 plate appearances. My goodness. Josh Jung finally breaks out. And I couldn't be happier. That's the thing. You know, when I point out players and their struggles, I don't mind at all when they prove me wrong. That's where some people get it twisted. I couldn't be happier. Josh Jung is 2 for 4 now as he flies out. 2 for 4 on the night with 3 RBI. Couldn't be any happier. Look, you want Josh Jung to figure it out. Of course, if he wasn't going to figure it out, you've got to make a move. And I'm going to try not to overreact, and I'd encourage you to do the same. This is what happens sometimes with Texas players. They have 1 or 2 good games. We all start getting our hopes up, and then they go right back into suck mode. So I'm not going to get my hopes up too high on Josh Jung, and I'm not saying that to be negative. I'm saying it because I just feel like every time I start getting hype, oh, yeah, this is the game. This is the breakout game. He's coming. He's about to start shoving at the plate. That's when it goes right back to what it was. So I'm not going to get overly hyped, but I will say it is a beautiful thing to see Josh Jung homering. Oppo Taco as well, man. Impressive night from Josh Jung. Don't mind seeing it at all. Jonah Heim's going to ground out to end the 8th inning here. Heim had a deep shot, man. You knew that thing was gone off the bat. Another guy you love seeing having a good night. And here comes Jacob deGrom. Jacob deGrom bounding out to the mound. Oh, heck yeah, man. I love seeing this. I'm a little surprised. I am a little surprised. I really thought maybe they would just kind of go status quo. deGrom's in the mid-80s. I thought they would just go ahead and pull him. I was not expecting them to throw him back out there. If he's going for the 8th inning, I think he's going the distance. If they are going to send him back out for the 8th inning here, there is zero reason to not send him out for the 9th at this point. I mean, maybe if he throws like 20, 25 pitches, I could see them putting a cap on it. But if he has somewhat of a normal-sized pitch count in this inning, he's coming back out for the 9th. He's absolutely coming back out for the 9th. deGrom was never gone, man. He was never gone. He's been back for a while. Jake, I know what you mean. But look, deGrom has never been gone. He's been doing this since the beginning of the season. He had like 3 or 4 tough outings to start the year, and he's been shoving ever since. Dude has been the best, I think, one of, if not the best pitcher in baseball, probably since the beginning of May. There's nobody that I want on the mound other than Jacob deGrom in a do-or-die game. I will say that probably about 1,000 times more this season. Seriously. We'll see what happens. Of course, they're going to ride this one out, and they are going to see what transpires with Jacob deGrom and the Orioles, and what they can do against him obviously plays a big part in that. Some of y'all got to learn, though, man. Some of y'all got to learn. We're saying those 2 words. We're using a little bit of superstitious, or I should say Not very solid language for the circumstances here. Some of y'all got to learn. Come on now. We don't say the two words. I don't think I need to say a whole lot more. Some of y'all are just letting it rip right now. What are we doing? You don't say the two words. And if you don't know what I'm talking about right now, you got to learn. I'll tell you afterwards. We got to chill out here. Come on now. I'm not saying anything related to that. We'll say anything but. And there it goes. I told y'all. Some of y'all were lighting it up, and there's the first hit of the ball game. Some of y'all were saying hit, not giving up any hits, no hitter. Come on. I'm giving y'all a hard time. I love y'all. I'm giving you a hard time. Any of y'all that say hit, perfect game, no hitter, anything like that, y'all got to learn. Y'all got to be better next time. Don't talk about hits. Don't talk about no hitter. Don't talk about perfect game. Don't say no until it happens. And it just did. We got to be a little better. Come on, Rangers Nation. I can't even believe we had to give this lesson today. We don't say no hitter when the man's got a no hitter. Come on now. Jacob deGrom, though, beautiful start. 7 innings pitched, and they're going to pull him now. 1 hit, 2 walks, 7 Ks. Beautiful. Beautiful outing. Best pitcher in baseball. That's not a hot take. Best pitcher in baseball. Jacob deGrom. I'm serious. Dead serious. Jacob deGrom now has a 2.08 ERA. I know that's not tops in the league. I don't care. He's the best pitcher in baseball. You mean nobody else is even close? Miguel, you're correct. Nobody else is even close to Jacob deGrom right now. He's the best pitcher in baseball. Period. Nobody would I want more than him in a do-or-die game. Tarek Skubal just gave up 4 runs to like somebody bad, like the A's. I don't see Jacob deGrom doing that, just saying. Skubal has a worse ERA than Jacob deGrom. Sean, I don't even know what you're talking about. We got to get better informed here. Jacob deGrom, better numbers than Tarek Skubal right now. So all of y'all coming at me with Skubal, deGrom's got a better ERA than Skubal. deGrom is better than Skubal. Skubal, yeah, anybody saying Skubal, it's total recency bias. 1,000% recency bias. deGrom didn't pitch much in 23 or 24. Skubal obviously lit it up in 23 and 24. It's total recency bias. This dude's the best pitcher in baseball. Maybe I got my real content for tomorrow. Maybe. Because I don't even know why some people are trying to yap about Tarek Skubal. Dude's been good for 2 or 3 years. Whoop-de-doo. Dude's been good 2 or 3 years. I'm sorry. I'm not taking the crown away from Jacob deGrom. Jacob deGrom's the best pitcher in baseball. Paul Skeens, don't come at me with Paul Skeens. Paul Skeens has pitched in 0 meaningful games in his career. 0 meaningful games. I don't even want to hear Paul Skeens. I think he's awesome. Don't want to hear Paul Skeens. 0 meaningful games. It's great. He can do it in a meaningless regular season game for the Pirates in a losing season. And maybe if he did get to the postseason, maybe he'd do well. Who knows? Maybe he wouldn't. Look at Clayton Kershaw. Jacob deGrom is one of the best pitchers of all time, and I think he's the best pitcher in baseball right now. Mick Jowers, what's good? I'm with you. I do not love anyone that uttered the 2 words, no hit, no hitter. Those are words that we do not say when a guy has a no-hitter. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Miguel, Max Fried. Miguel, nobody thinks Max Fried is better than Jacob deGrom. Please. Bro, come on. I love all of y'all. What are we doing here? Just because Max Fried is having a good first half, one good first half? Miguel, deGrom's at 208. What are we talking? What are we doing here, bro? Max Fried is a better pitcher than Jacob deGrom because the ERA is 0.03 of a point lower. Oh, come on. What are we doing here? Like, nobody thinks Max Fried is a better pitcher than Jacob deGrom, unless you are a Homer Yankees fan. Nobody. Absolutely nobody. Miguel, I believe you. I know what the stats are. I just think it's sad that you're judging who's the best pitcher in baseball off of a 2.05 ERA versus a 2.08 ERA. Come on, buddy. Swing and a deep drive here. But we're going to get the out, and we're going to head to the top of the ninth. So Jacob deGrom, book officially closed. Jacob Webb able to come in, get a strikeout, get a fly out. And we are going to hopefully get through the ninth inning here. We got a lot of good stuff to talk about today. Love having y'all in the chat. Like I've been telling y'all this all season long, and I really would have loved if Jacob deGrom could have pitched in the Mariners series. I think it's great that he's able to cap off this 3-game set with a series victory and win. But Jacob deGrom, anytime you can get to see him pitch, you live in Arlington, you live in the Metroplex, you live close by, go and watch this man pitch. I've never seen Jacob deGrom pitch live. I would love to be so lucky as to be able to. He doesn't have that many years left in the game. He's the best pitcher in baseball, one of the all-time greats. I actually saw something pretty interesting, and look, there's no other night that we go off on Jacob deGrom this much, but this is an appropriate night to spend a lot of time on Jacob deGrom. So you're going to have to forgive me if y'all want to talk other players. We're going to get there. Tonight's about deGrom more than anything. More than anything. Somebody actually responded to a really interesting post, and the post was essentially, you got to pick one player that gets to be injury-free for their entire career. You get to pick one player, go back in time, and they get to be injury-free for their entire baseball, football, basketball career. And one person, don't know if they were a Rangers fan, I assume so, maybe a Mets fan, it might have been a Mets fan, said Jacob deGrom. And they followed it up by saying he's probably the best pitcher of all time if he is healthy every single year of his career with no injury. Maybe the best pitcher of all time. And I don't think that is that hot of a take. If Jacob deGrom could give you 30-plus starts in every year of his career, where would he be right now? And I might even add, where would he have been if the Mets were an even slightly capable franchise for a majority of his seasons in Queens? Jacob deGrom, I would love to see what his numbers would be if he could have had full health his entire career. And I'm talking about, obviously, time with the Rangers, time with the Mets. It would be interesting. It's wild to me Jacob deGrom isn't even at 100 career wins yet. Totally wild. Bo Jackson's a good one. You guys got anybody else? Miguel's still trying to convince you Max Fried's a better pitcher than Jacob deGrom because he's got 3 points better ERA. But look, we all know better. We all know better. I just don't get hitching your wagon to Max Fried. If he has a bad outing tomorrow, are we still saying he's better? Dude, nobody's saying Max Fried's better. D. Rose, Chase, that's a good one. Mike Trout was a really, really popular one, by the way. He was a really, really popular one, Mike Trout. And I tend to agree. Like, if you could have Mike Trout 2011 to now totally injury-free, where would Mike Trout's career numbers be? By the way, Osuna up to bat right now, 0 for 2 on the night. Kittredge in the ball game. Again, we're at 7-0 Texas. Jacob deGrom vying for a no-hitter was stopped short in the 8th inning. I love that Texas let him pitch. I just love that they let him pitch. I really thought, and they're going to stay the course here. They're going to pull him. He's at 86 pitches. I just love that they let him pitch. The Boz. That's a good one, man. We're going football, man. The Boz. Wow. There's some good ones. Like, again, the prompt was You get to pick one player in any sport to be injury-free for their entire career. Who are you picking? And like I said, a couple people said Jacob deGrom. Fitting what he does tonight, considering that. And then there were a lot of Mike Trouts, a lot of the other ones too that you guys mentioned. It was a good stuff. I like those debates, man. I really do. I like those what if scenarios. Man, I hope deGrom can collect. I really do. And look, there's a lot of advanced stats out there that now help determine these awards. I'm very curious, and my good buddy Miguel has got me really thinking, I wonder what the advanced stats say. Jacob deGrom versus a Max Fried, or Jacob deGrom versus a Chris Bubich, or whoever you want to throw in there, Tarek Skubal. I wonder where deGrom lines up in the advanced stats categories, because you guys know that's a big part now of what people decide to make their final decisions on for these different awards. So I'm going to actually probably make that a little homework assignment for me. I want to see, where does deGrom rank? Where does deGrom rank among all of the different best pitchers in the game right now in the advanced stats categories? It'll be a very curious research assignment if I had to guess. Does Hamilton count? Brian, totally with you. I think if you, and I think I've said this, if you took out Josh Hamilton's personal struggles, Haggerty's going to strike out here. Haggerty 0 for 4 on the night, does have a walk, and did score a run, I believe, as well. Yep, scored a run, got a walk, but 0 for on the night. Cole Winn coming in the ball game right now. Good to see Cole. I think Hamilton, if you take out, the drugs, if you take out the substances, you take out some of the personal issues, and then, because of some of the damage that he did to his body in all of those different contexts, he had some injuries in his career. His body did not hold up. I do think Hamilton probably is up there among the greatest of all time if he probably plays. And you have to imagine, he was 18, a phenom out of high school. Figure he stays on the straight and narrow and gets up to Tampa Bay around 2021. Tampa Bay, of course, drafted him. You would think over the course of 15, 16 seasons, maybe even 17, 18, if he's playing till 37, 38, where would Hambone's numbers be? Be impressive. 44, yes, sir. Corey Seager, Austin, would be a good one. Where would Seager be in his career stats if he didn't miss time back with the Dodgers? He's missed, a number of games for us. I don't know how many games he's missed total as a Ranger. Feels like pretty close to 100. I definitely feel like Corey Seager would probably be a lot more in the conversation, would be getting a lot more respect among greatest shortstops of all time. You don't hear Corey's name a ton. I think he will be by the end of his career, but you just don't hear Corey's name a ton, regardless of the fact that he's one of 4 players in the history of the game to win 2 World Series MVPs. I think MLB will for sure. deGrom better be on the front page. Like, if I'm going to go right now, if deGrom is not on the front page of MLB.com, we riot. Like, seriously, I better not see freaking Yankees or Dodgers. Yes, let's go. deGrom, front page, baby. Woo! Let's do it. I love to see Texas Rangers on the front page of MLB.com, because every time you go there, it's a fun little game we play here on the show. Every time you go to MLB.com, it's either Dodgers or Yankees. It never fails. Oh, good to see Jacob on the front page, man. Sick. I love it. Vintage deGrom on display in Baltimore. That's the headline. Vintage deGrom. Oh, I love it. Love, love, love it, man. Jackson Holiday up right now. Jonah Heim and Jackson sharing a laugh. You can do that in a 7-run ball game. 1-1 count. Cole Winn again on to pitch. Cole Winn still sporting zeros across the ERA. He has had a phenomenal season, both in the minor leagues at AAA and since coming up for Texas. Mop-up duty here, so you hope he can stay locked in, stay focused here. Painted 96 on the outer half on the corner. Jackson Holiday 0 for 2 on the night. Had a big game in game 1 of this series. Baltimore, of course, took that game 1 on Monday. Has been a little quiet since then. Cole Winn, pitch number 5 incoming. Right there. See you later. I don't know what Jackson was looking for, but he was not looking inside fastball. And he's going to watch that one. 95 on the inner half. Low, right in the corner, the bottom corner of that zone on the inner half. Love to see that. Looks like he missed location. It was not supposed to be on the inner half, but we'll take it, man. We'll take it. Oh, shoot. Hey, Travis, appreciate you, man. Thanks for the follow. Noah Syndergaard? Syndergaard definitely would be an interesting one. He would definitely be an interesting one. I think I saw that Noah Syndergaard just got signed by somebody. Did I imagine that? I thought I saw on one of the MLB.com updates, he just got signed by somebody. Westberg is going to ground out to Seager, and there's quickly 2 outs. Gunnar Henderson, the only thing standing in between the Rangers and a W. Hey, that dad, what's good, man? Thanks for hanging. Rangers are hitting. Josh Jung actually hitting tonight. Like I said, I'm not trying to get overly hyped. Like, I'm not trying to get ahead of myself here. I love what I'm seeing from Josh Jung. I don't want anybody to think I'm trying to be negative. I just don't want to get too excited. We've seen this before where the Rangers, they have a really big night or a player has a really big night and then it doesn't last. I just want to see consistency. Just want to see consistency. Ball 1 here to Gunnar. Gunnar is 0 for 3, and Gunner's 272 on the year. Respectable. 771 OPS. 0 for 3 tonight with the strikeout, though. Here's the pitch. Ground ball. Seager's there. Flips it to first. Game. Series. Rangers. Cue the I Like Texas music. Hello, win column. Hello, win column, baby. Jacob deGrom throws 7 shutout innings of 1-hit baseball. 7 strikeouts. Your player of the game. On the offensive side, Josh Jung goes deep. 2 for 4 with 3 RBI. Marcus Semien adds 3 hits. Jonah Heim adds a long ball. Texas, another road series win. Another road series win. Jeez. Road Warriors. Y'all said it. It wasn't me who said Road Warriors. I know that's what we called them in 23, but man, you can't argue with the recent results. Road Warriors, man. Good for Texas. Good for the Rangers. You go into the off day, you get a little happy flight back to Arlington, and you have a freaking huge series coming up this weekend. We are going to build it up. This is a all-time big one coming up. In terms of the 2025 season, all-time. Let me put it to you that way. Look, I know in 162 games, it's hard to pinpoint 3 games as making or breaking the season. Once you start getting into these late stages, and of course now Rangers are officially into the second half of the year. I know everybody considers the All-Star break the second half, but you know what I mean. We're past the halfway point. We have now played, 81 games? We're now right at the halfway point. So I think at this spot, some of these series do become really, really huge. Really, really important. It's time to stop going to the excuse like some people like to go to. Well, it's a long season. They still got 2 or 3 months left. Yeah, but you're now on the back 9, and you're playing division foes that you are directly going to be competing against for a playoff spot. You've got to start winning the big series. You beat up on some of the crappy teams. You beat up on the Orioles. You beat up on the Nationals. You beat up on the White Sox. the Royals beat up on you, but the Rangers, by and large, have taken care of business, beating up on the bad teams. You've got to win some big series against some really quality opponents, and it starts with Seattle. Then you got a couple of other bad teams mixed in there. Look, the Angels, they're coming up here pretty soon. We're going to be going out to LA for a series with the Angels. We're going out to San Diego. That's going to be a tough series out in San Diego at Petco. And then you've got the Astros, I believe, in Houston before the All-Star break. There's some big series coming up, y'all. And Brian, couldn't have said it better, my guy. Like, this is put up or shut up time. You have got to start winning ball games and stringing it together. If you want to be a buyer at the deadline, we are 100% going to figure out who's buying, who's selling. This next 3-4 weeks is going to tell you a whole lot. Chase, I'm with you. Got to bring the momentum home. Albert, good to see you, my guy. Thank you. Austin, I'm with you. Look, I'm not expecting a sweep this weekend. Win 2 out of 3. Win 2 out of 3. That's the name of the game anyways. You don't need to get greedy. Just win 2 out of 3. You've got Evo pitching on Friday night. You've got to win the Evo start. I mean, baseball is weird sometimes, but in my mind, if you take out baseball being weird sometimes, you got to win the Evo start. That's a big, I think, momentum shifter for the entire series, what happens on Friday night. I am very excited for Friday. Evo, look, I know it's a little unfair to him because this is going to be his first start back without any kind of rehab assignment. There might be a little rust, but this is going to be a big series, a big Friday night ball game. If you can get to the ballpark, man, get to the ballpark. This is one of those series you don't want to miss. We're going to have a lot of fun. It's going to be a great time. We got some Mariners fans I know will join us on the show. It's going to be great. See if we can avoid Cal Raleigh's wrath. Yep, the Jung video definitely is working. And look, I've said to y'all a number of times, because I know some people like to clap back sometimes. John, I know you're not doing that, my friend, but I definitely will never mind having to eat a little crow or be a little wrong if my team's winning ball games. So look, if I'm being technical, though, with the Jung video, the whole point of the Jung video was you can't keep on doing what you're doing right now. We can't continue to get absolutely nothing out of Josh Jung. The point of the Josh Jung video is urgency. Urgency is at an all-time high. Josh Jung is a part of the future. Can we wait around for that, though, while he goes 2 for 30 or whatever he did over the last week and a half? Great game from Josh Jung. Love seeing it. Josh Jung, one of my favorite players. And I know maybe that sounds like a little bit off or ironic considering the video. We've always said here on the show, we're going to call it exactly like it is. Josh Jung was not in a good way. Tonight, I hope, is the start of something beautiful for the young kid. I hope he gets back on track and starts raking. That would be a sight for sore eyes for Rangers fans and for the team in general. And I'm putting that lightly. Sight for sore eyes to get some production out of the corner spots. I absolutely would love to see it. I never root against players to be successful. I don't like being right sometimes, and sometimes I don't end up being right at all. I don't like being right when I have to call out a player that's struggling. But you know what? We're not going to sit in no man's land every single night here on the show. We're not going to tiptoe so we're never wrong here or we're never right. We're not staying neutral. That's not what this show is about. Sometimes you got to take big swings, just like in the game. Sometimes it doesn't work out, and sometimes you're right on the money. I'd like to think I've got more solid contact than whiffs, but you know what? Some of my longtime listeners can maybe check me on that. I'd like to think I've got more solid contact than swings and misses, but I'd have to go back and check the record. At this point, let's just see some consistency, though, right? Josh Jung, great game from him tonight. Let's see him have a big series against Seattle. Let's see a big series against a division opponent. If he's back, it'll carry into that weekend series, and we so badly need it. We need Josh Jung on fire against Seattle. We do. We do. Keep going. Hopefully the offense gets rolling. But how many times have we said that? That's kind of my point. Brian, that's exactly my point. We have said this after so many of these games where we score 6, 7, 8. Like, maybe this is it. Maybe this is the catalyst to get things started for this offense to get back to average. And then we go right back to the same thing. And I don't want that for anybody. I don't want to be right about that. I don't want Brian to be right. And I know he doesn't want to be right either. All of us want to see this offense light it up. But in the back of my mind, that is there. Can we be consistent? We keep going. James, Evo's back on Friday. Langford, I think, might be out for the weekend series. I don't anticipate seeing Wyatt this weekend. Maybe, but those side injuries, a left side tightness for Wyatt, not anything you want to mess around with. Just not something you want to mess around with. So I'm not going to be shocked if Wyatt is out for the entire series at home against Seattle. Might not be the worst thing. I know that might sound like hate, but it might not be the worst thing. I kind of felt the same way about the Berger injury. Like, I don't want to see guys get hurt. Never want to see guys get hurt. I'm never actively sitting at home. Man, I wish somebody could get hurt so then they're not in the lineup. But I do see silver linings, and I do try and see the glass half full. And I do think Wyatt Langford out of the 2-hole is good and going to be a positive thing for this offense. I don't know if any of y'all feel the same. I would hope that you do, because some of y'all have actually said that to me too. I think it's not the worst thing in the world that Wyatt has to take a little time here and we get a new face in the 2-hole. In this case, it was Sam Haggerty. And Haggerty didn't have a great night tonight. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't his best outing, his best affair out there, but he did well. I mean, he got on base. He scored a run. Hard to argue with that. I like Haggerty up at the top. I like the speed. I like going first to third. He did that well on the Seager hit, on the Seager RBI. I just love the speed up at the top of the order. So I don't think that the Wyatt injury is the worst thing in the world. Hopefully he's not going to be out for a long time, but I think that he definitely could use a little reset. Who's throwing Saturday? I don't even know if they've announced all that. I really don't. I don't think they've announced who's throwing Saturday. Maybe. I'll try and check it out. But Saturday, we are playing, let's see. We got a day game on Saturday. We got another night game. Come on now. What are we doing here? Houston's playing Chicago this weekend. Interesting. Day game on Saturday, 3:05 start. Nobody announced as probable starter. I can only assume maybe Rocker. Does Rocker make sense for a Saturday start? I would think maybe Rocker. We'll see what they decide to go with. I think Spores, somebody asked about Spores. Spores is going to be back early July, and Gray is mid to late July. Cody Bradford, of course, out with Tommy John or with the brace surgery. By the way, did they report on which one had to be done on Cody Bradford? Did they give a final report on that? I'll try and look for it on the show if I can, but I know that they were kind of going back and forth, and they basically said they weren't going to know Tommy John or the brace procedure until they actually opened him up and started doing surgery. So we'll see. If any of y'all heard, let me know. Let's see. Who has a 720 OPS? Who are we talking about? What did I miss? Y'all let me know. They traded Malley. No, they didn't trade Malley. He's hurt, which actually is kind of unfortunate when you think about it, right? Because with Malley being hurt, you basically at this point, you totally take out any idea of a trade. I mean, you don't have that option anymore. I don't know if the Rangers would have traded him anyways, but I just like that they had the option. With Malley being hurt, I just don't know if you even have the option. Yeah, Jung, Langford, and Carter definitely supposed to be the future. And we really, I think, when we're talking about being hard on those guys, Brian, I'm assuming that's kind of where you're going with this. Like, I don't think that it's like out of left field to expect a lot out of some of these guys. Josh Jung was an all-star game starter in 2023. And they did count on Josh Jung to be a big factor this year, and he hasn't been. Tonight he was, and we're all happy about it. Langford, Carter, same thing, though. We can say they're young and it's a long runway all we want, but the reality is the Rangers counted on all three of those players. I would say more so 2024, they counted on Langford. They counted on Jung. They counted on Carter to all be big pieces. And it's a big reason why 2024 didn't go well. We put a lot of stock in Wyatt Langford really heating up quickly. We thought Evan Carter was going to continue to be him up at the top of the order. We thought Josh Jung was going to have a full season of health and be able to do just what he did in the playoffs in 2023, hitting home runs and having a lot of success, and it didn't go great. And so in 2025, we kind of expect even a little bit more out of Wyatt and out of Josh. I think Evan, maybe the expectations were a little tapered, but I'm with you. You've got to start thinking it and framing it within the context of Chris Jung, Fenstermaker, all those guys. They genuinely believed that the three guys we're talking about right now, Jung, Carter, and Langford, were going to be key contributors. The wrong frame, the wrong lens on this would be, well, those guys are just still developing. That's not how the Rangers went into this season. I mean, in the back of their minds, maybe, yeah, they could still get better and better, develop in that way. But I don't think Chris Jung, Fenstermaker, none of those guys went into this year or went into last year, especially thinking, well, if Josh Jung or Wyatt Langford struggles, it's fine. They're still young. Those guys were key contributors in the front office minds. And I said that that's kind of, I think, one thing you can definitely criticize Chris Jung on is you put a little bit too much stock in the guys you had. You probably should have been a little more aggressive in reloading the position player 1 through 9 from 24 to 25. You didn't. And here's where we're at, right? Hopefully it gets better. I think that it can, but we got to see consistency. Have to see consistency. Austin, that is the thing, right? If this offense can just be average, we will be a pretty good baseball team, a playoff team for sure. In the second inning, we had the leadoff double by Marcus Adolis batting. Should we just start bunting? John, it just goes back to what we've always talked about, my friend. And I know a lot of us have that frustration. I do too, especially when I watch somebody strike out with a runner on second and nobody out. I'm like, can we just bunt? I don't care who's up there. Can we just bunt? These guys, I just don't think practice it, man. I think maybe playing Pepper, farting around doing that, maybe taking the 55 mile an hour and you get a few bunts in just to see the baseball before you do BP. I don't think anybody is actually spending meaningful time practicing bunting. Maybe a couple of dudes like the bench players, but I'm talking about the main guys in our lineup. I don't think a lot of them are practicing bunting. I don't think Adolis Garcia is practicing bunting. I just don't, man. And so, John, I'm 100% with you in the idea. I would really love if we had more Swaggerties in the lineup. I would love if we had more Josh Smith types in the lineup. Guys that just put the ball in play. Guys that aren't always trying to jack one out of the park. I want to see more consistency, ball in play. It's a beautiful thing when you just put the ball in play. Look at the Haggerty at bat last night in the 10th inning. Was that ball smoked? Was that ball scorched? No, it wasn't. But Sam Haggerty put the ball in play, and good things can happen when you do that. You strike out, there's no good that comes of that unless the pitcher throws a wild pitch and you get lucky enough to advance to the next base. You got to put the ball in play. I don't think that the Rangers are going to go away from what they're doing right now. They play for the big inning a lot. A lot. They play for the big inning almost exclusively. Even in situations where seemingly you only need one run. Like, for example, Corey Seager gets to second base. And that was in the 9th inning of last night's game. It's a tie game, right? It's 5-5. Corey Seager, single, steal. He's on second, nobody out. Marcus Semien is not a guy that you bunt with a lot, but when you're just trying to go ahead by one run, for me, I almost don't understand. Why are we playing for a big inning when we really only need one run? Like, and we have experienced runs being hard to come by almost all season long. That kind of stuff does confound me a little bit. Why, when we only need one run, are we still trying to play for a big inning? And maybe you make the argument, well, one run, the bullpen, is that really a safe lead? At some point, when you're at the 9th inning, when you're in the late stages of the game, if you can't hold a one-run lead, you don't deserve to win the game. You've got to have somebody that can come in and get 3 outs. So, yeah, in some moments like that, I would love to see the club play small ball and move guys over instead of playing for the big inning when you've got a clear path and a clear formula to manufacture a run. Keep going. ESPN app shows rocker Saturday, lighter Sunday. Well, Brian, that does make sense. Rocker Saturday, lighter Sunday does make sense. Ryan Evo's coming back on Friday. Jock Peterson, ZG, what's good, man? Jock is coming back, I think, within the next week and a half. I think he'll be back right around the 4th of July. Maybe sooner. I'm on everything, Mitt. I'm on pretty much everything. So, look, whatever you guys prefer. If I could just be real with y'all, TikTok, YouTube, probably the biggest ones. And big kind of milestone here on the show I'll share with you guys. Finally got into the YouTube monetization program. That was kind of a big milestone for me, and that's a big thank you to you guys because it's all based on watch hours and subscribers. And look, that's you guys doing the heavy lifting. So I want to say thank you. We're almost into creator rewards for TikTok. We're about 1,400 away, something like that. 1,500 away. I don't know, give or take. So I just want to say a big thank you. But look, anywhere you want to follow is good with me. I'm on X. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Snapchat. Seriously, I'm basically on any major social media that you can think of. So however you want to watch. I want to say go live on 3 now. I used to do Instagram Live, but Instagram Live was giving me trouble with the multi-stream service that I use. So I only go live on X, YouTube, and TikTok now. Maybe one day I'll get Instagram going again. I would never get a ton of people. on Instagram. It's mostly YouTube, a little bit on X, and then, of course, TikTok. Keep going. Do I still believe in Jock? I don't know. I don't know where I'm at with Jock. I really don't. I think Jock is probably one of those guys, kind of like I was saying with Langford and Berger, benefit from just being away from the game for a little bit with how bad Jock was going. And he was hitting the ball hard at times, but I really think the reset is probably going to be good for him. You'd assume that Jock is probably going to do a minor league rehab stint, but maybe not. The Rangers are definitely a different ball club when it comes to guys coming off the IL. I'll say that. Hey, Brian, thank you for the congratulations, man. Appreciate you. When are we calling up Craig Kimbrell? Look, I think at this point, any day is a good day, but I don't know how it all is going to shake out with Dane Dunning and what the plan is there. Caleb Bosley, it appeared like they're just sending Bosley down for a short time and then they're going to bring him back up. That's kind of the vibe that I got from the whole Bosley demotion, but we'll see. I think Craig Kimbrell at this point, You could throw him right along with Jacob Webb. I don't think that Webb is giving you that much more than Kimbrel. And I just don't think that they signed Kimbrel with the intent just to keep him in AAA. Again, I don't think Kimbrel would have signed with Texas if they were like, yeah, dude, there's no guarantee. I think Texas probably told Craig, you got a very strong shot to get up here with the big league club at some point. We'll see. Trade Adolis, Berger, and Jock. I don't know if they're going to be able to do the Jock trade. They could trade Berger, John. They definitely should trade Adolis if they're not in a playoff spot. I think that you absolutely could trade him in the offseason if you're doing really well. You're doing really well, you're winning, and you are locked into a wild card, or you're knocking on the door of the AL West. I think absolutely you keep Adolis, but you trade him in the offseason. You don't let Adolis slump and go into a contract year potentially not getting anything from him. Worst case, you ride it out to the end of the year. If the Rangers aren't going to be buyers at the deadline, they're scuffling a little bit still, they need to sell Adolis for sure. Yeah, look, Tommy, I don't think anyone's expecting Craig Kimbrel to just totally lock it down and be like the Kimbrel of old from 2013, some of his years with the Braves when he was unhittable. But I do think comparatively, looking at our entire bullpen, there's probably a couple of guys that Craig Kimbrel could compete with on our bullpen staff. So I will say, I think we're all keeping the right expectations here. I mean, Kimbrel, I think, could definitely get you some big outs here and there. I don't think he needs to necessarily be your exclusive high leverage guy or anything like that, but I'd feel good throwing him in the 7th or the 8th. And who knows? But at this point, I don't really think Craig Kimbrel would have signed with us if he had no shot. If he had no shot to make it to the big leagues. Keep going. Yeah, MLB always curses. Hayden, they always curse. They literally just slap a perfect game label right on the website whenever there's a perfect game. They're the worst. They slap no-hitter, perfect game right there on the score for you to see. MLB.com. They always are cursing the no-hitters. 100%. Always cursing the no-nos and the perfect games. Ryan, Seattle series is huge, no doubt. No doubt. Huge, huge series. And Seattle tonight, what are they doing tonight? We got to get some scores going up around the league here. We'll get into the AL West roundup a little bit early. Again, Jacob deGrom, what a performance from him. 7 innings, 1 hit, 7 Ks, 2 walks. Jacob Webb, Cole Winn come in. No base runners allowed. Orioles had 3 base runners tonight in 9 innings. Incredible. And we already talked about some of the big names for Texas on the offensive side. Marcus Semien, Josh Jung, and Jonah Heim combined for 7 hits and 5 RBI. Marcus Semien now up to 230 batting average, 650 OPS. Look, Semi slowly but surely getting back where he needs to be. It's great to see. Corey Seager was 1 for 4. He had an RBI tonight as well. I know some people are down on Corey. He's just not a guy that I'm worried about, y'all. I'm being dead serious. I'm not worried about Corey. He's hitting the ball hard. He's still got one of the best exit velocity and hard hit percentages in the league. Corey's going to be fine. I'm not worried about him at all. There's going to be some haters and people that want to clown on him for what he's doing this year with the numbers. The real ones know better. You've been watching Corey Seager. You know that he's onto something. He doesn't look lost up there. It's just not falling for him right now. It will. It will. You can't hold Corey Seager down for too long. And look, honestly, they're really not. Dude's still hitting the ball over 100 miles an hour, it feels like, almost every time off the bat. I don't know, Bob. What's good, man? Thanks for the comment. You know that I've been the biggest supporter of Evan Carter getting every day at bats. You know I've been the biggest supporter of EC getting ABs against lefties. I think at this point, it's clear they're just not going to do that unless maybe a lefty comes in late in the game. And even then, it's not a foregone conclusion. They might pinch hit him. But I have noticed that they've left him in against some lefties coming out of the bullpen. So that's a start. I think that's the best you're going to get. I just don't think that, especially with Jock Peterson and some of these other guys coming back, I don't think there's going to be a whole lot of room for Evan Carter to get starts against lefties. It would have to get pretty desolate with the injuries, and that's not something any of us want. I think maybe next year is the year. We'll see. When the Rangers are in win now mode, I just don't know how much they're going to have patience for developing guys. And Evan Carter, I would love to see him be an everyday player. You guys know how I feel about this. I just don't know if it's going to be in the cards this year. Maybe next year. Depends on what the outfield looks like, who they get rid of, all of that stuff. But I do think next year potentially could be the year. Maybe you come out of the season, you come out of the gates, giving him the chance to be an everyday guy. And if it doesn't go well, you quickly pivot. But I think maybe next year will be the year. DeGoat, baby. Hey, Brad, I like it. I like the ring. DeGoat. Because he is. I mean, Jacob deGrom is the best pitcher on the planet right now. Don't give me Scooble. Don't give me Skeens. No. He's the best pitcher on the planet. And I'm going to do my best to remind people of that. Like I said, real incoming, probably tomorrow morning. Jacob deGrom, best pitcher on the planet. And we'll let all of the Tigers fans and the Astros fans, the Astros fans will be trying to hype up Hunter Brown. Please. Hunter Brown's been good for half a season. He had a pretty good year last year. He's been elite for like half a season, man. Rangers tattooed Hunter Brown when he came in the ALCS. Doley hit a home run off of him. Dude's been good for like a second. Don't even come at me with Hunter Brown. Jacob deGrom's the best pitcher on the planet. Hey, what's good, man? Hey, new people always welcome. Appreciate you. Everybody tells me I look like Cal Raleigh. Literally everybody. It wouldn't be a show. I say this literally every other day. It wouldn't be a show without a Cal Raleigh comp. Hey, let's see. Yeah, Salvador, thank you. It's definitely not even close, but some Stros fans are going to come in hot with Hunter Brown. Yeah. Look, he's having a great year. I'm definitely not trying to hate on Hunter Brown's season. He's having a good year. The Rangers did beat him. Jake Berger, solo shot. That was a great game. Rangers did beat Hunter Brown. Remember, did any of y'all remember when Hunter Brown, was he facing off against Jacob deGrom? Wasn't it deGrom versus Hunter Brown in that game? I think it was, right? I thought it was Hunter Brown versus deGrom, and we won 1-0. Jake Berger, oppo shot into the bullpen. And then somebody still got on here, an Astros fan still got on here and had the audacity to tell me that Hunter Brown pitched better than Jacob deGrom. Or Hunter Brown was better than Jacob deGrom. You just can't speak logic into situations sometimes, no matter how much sense it makes. So I'll say this. It's not super close in my mind. There's nobody that's done it better for longer than Jacob deGrom. There's a few guys in the league right now that are looking really good, that have been doing it well for a couple of years. Jacob deGrom's been good for a decade and is one of the league leaders in many different stats at age 37. Dude's the best in the game. Zach Wheeler, no, he's not the best, although I'm sure he's your favorite player. Not the best, though. Can't go there at all. At all. But Wheeler is a very good pitcher. He's not better than Jacob deGrom, though. I don't think a lot of people would agree with you there. Wheeler, though, 7-2 this year, 2.61 ERA. Again, deGrom's better. deGrom's got better numbers than that. The strikeouts definitely play. They bumped Jacob deGrom off of the front page and they put Wheeler on it. I don't like to see that. Hey, take that win. Take that win, my guy. I don't know why they decided to do that. Jacob deGrom, way better than Zach Wheeler, but you know what? I don't know who controls the page. I'd love to give them a nasty Yelp review, though. By the way, tonight, Zach Wheeler losing, I believe, to Houston 0-1. Come on, we're pumping him up, and he's losing to Houston. Jacob deGrom definitely better. Definitely better. Can't even beat Houston. Come on now. All right, we'll move on. Game's not over yet. All right, Tommy. All right, Tommy. Game's not over. Game's not over. Zach Wheeler will get a little closer to Jacob deGrom if he can manage to pull out the win tonight against Houston. And his team has got to have something to say about that. When does Houston stop owning the division? Look, I don't really care a whole lot about the division, honestly. Like, I sit here, even at the beginning of the season, I said, genuinely, just make the playoff. Like, the AL West, winning the AL West, it would shut Astros fans up a little bit, and I would like that. But honestly, just get into the playoffs. We all remember what happened in 23. You don't need to win the AL West. You don't need to win the AL West. And honestly, with how many spots they've opened up in the postseason, I don't really think that needs to be a ton of teams' goals. I think do exactly what you did in 23. Just get in and see what happens. Hey, 44, we'll see you later, man. Thanks for hanging out. Appreciate you, brother. Yeah, actually, probably Friday. I don't think I'll do a live tomorrow unless something crazy happens, like with a transaction, a trade, a signing. I don't know. Unless there's some big news, we'll probably take a day off tomorrow. That'll be the plan. Yep, did beat Houston. Jacob deGrom did. I was hoping deGrom would pitch against Seattle too, CJ. I was thinking deGrom, Evo, Friday, Saturday, but they basically said they want to pitch Jacob deGrom when he's ready to pitch and not get too cute with it. Those were Bruce Bochy's words. So I can respect it, and I don't think a lot of us can argue. Jacob deGrom has played a lot of baseball this year. So in my mind, do exactly what you're doing with Jacob deGrom. You don't need to do a whole lot different. Don't do anything different. Continue to do whatever you need to do to keep Jacob deGrom healthy. Tough game for Smitty. What did Smitty do tonight? Did he go 0 for? Was he 0 for? Did he get a hit? Yeah, 0 for 5 tonight for him. It happens. It happens. But you know what? Score 7 runs. It's about time somebody else started doing something. Am I right? It's about time the team picked up the slack for Josh Smith and company. Friday, by the way, let's see who we have. So we have obviously Evo throwing. But let's see if we can figure out who Seattle is throwing this series. That's what I'm most interested in. So they haven't announced a starter yet, actually. Does ESPN have a starter announced? I'll go to ESPN and we'll see if I can get a little bit of insight here. Sometimes it's weird. MLB.com won't release it until the coach confirms it. Anyways, let's see. On Friday, see what we got. Gilbert, I think, is going on Friday. So that's going to be quite the game. Gilbert versus Evo. That's going to be a really, really good game. Gilbert versus Evo. Saturday, Wu versus Rocker. And Sunday, Castillo versus Leiter. This is ESPN. It could change. I really, really hope that we can take game one. I think we take game one. You build that positive momentum. The whole rest of the series kind of is downhill from there. I would love to take game one. But Gilbert, a tough opponent. A tough opponent for sure. When am I ending? By the way, Tommy, thank you for the sub, man. Appreciate you. I'm probably 10 minutes wrapping up. 10, 15 minutes we'll wrap up. Maybe sooner than that. Just kind of depends on where we get to. Yeah, Castillo, I don't know how all these guys fared against us last time out. Castillo, let me see if I can get his game log when he pitched against us. Let me go to see all here. He pitched well against us. He had 6 innings, 1 earned run, 2 strikeouts. So he had a good game. Woo, we almost got to Woo in the first inning. We loaded the bases, typical Rangers fashion in 2025, loaded the bases, only got 1 run, had no outs. And then Brian Woo was nails the rest of the start. Now, Gilbert, did we face Gilbert? And if so, how did he do? I thought maybe we missed Gilbert last time around. Could be wrong on that. Let me go ahead and look up his game log. I thought we missed Gilbert last time, but no, we didn't. 5 innings, 1 earned run, 7 Ks. And they won 3-1. It was a close game, but they won 3-1. So look, Castillo and Gilbert and Woo, they've all beat Texas this year, unfortunately. So the Rangers got a little revenge, hopefully, on their mind. I think Evo is a great guy to have on Friday night. Mariners have a great guy going too. That is going to be an outstanding matchup. Yeah, Evo coming off the injury, you just don't know. That is a good point. Scott, what's up, my guy? Good to see you, buddy. Love you. I just think coming off the injury, you just don't know. No rehab stint. It could be a little bit of a crapshoot. Could be a little bit of a crapshoot on Friday from Evo. I hope, and I tend to agree with you, Austin. I've got faith in him. I hope that it's a good outing. But I'll tell you this, it's always a little bit of a mixed bag when it's this very first game coming off of a long time out of your routine. We'll see what happens. Evo Friday night will be fun, though, Richard. Yeah, Osuna, that play at the wall, that was a nice play at the wall by Osuna, man. Still waiting on that big-time home run on that first big league shot. I think the extra base hits and the homers are going to come from for Osuna. I don't think he's ever going to be a 30 home run guy, but I think some of the extra base hits and the homers are going to come for him. One thing that I continue to be impressed about is he does have a very good eye for the strike zone. Never feels like he's over his skis up there in the box. That's one thing I've been very impressed with Alejandro Osuna about. Definitely. Osuna, I think, is going to have a bright future. This year, I think it's going to be a little off and on. Next year, I think he's going to get an opportunity to be a starter for sure. Brian, I think it probably will end up being a short leash for Evo, if I had to guess. He did, John. You're right. He barely missed a homer. He had a very, very good AB in that regard, making some solid contact. Just couldn't quite straighten it out. He's had a few of those, man. He has. It's going to start coming. I really do think that. I did want a deGrom hitter so badly too, Alejandro. Appreciate the comment, my guy. I think we all did. Are we going to talk about Flag and Kyrie? Look, excited for Flag for sure. Cooper Flag, obviously, Mavericks drafted him tonight. Foregone conclusion. I think, there were some people out there just trolling, thinking that the Mavs maybe would do something stupid. It was a no-brainer. We'll see what they decide to end up doing with the rest of the roster. They, I think, were rumored Malcolm Brogdon and D'Angelo Russell potentially going out and getting them to be the point guards running the show when Kyrie is still recovering from his injury. Kyrie signed a pretty team-friendly deal. Stephen A. Smith was saying that the Mavericks lowballed Kyrie. It's Kyrie didn't have to sign the contract. Clearly, he signed the contract to help the Mavericks to build around Cooper Flag, Anthony Davis, and himself. So I'd love what Kyrie did for the team, giving them a team-friendly deal that allows them to go out, get that mid-level exception. I think it's going to be great when Kyrie is back healthy. Yeah, it definitely felt like it. It makes me feel a little bit better about the Luka trade getting Cooper Flag. I think once people see Flag play, and I do think he's going to be successful, I think it will help. I think it's always going to be a punching bag. That Luka trade is always going to be a punching bag in Mavs Nation. It just is. But it will feel better when Cooper Flag starts dominating in the NBA. Just kind of talked about it a little bit, Austin. Malcolm Brogdon, I believe, and D'Angelo Russell. Chris Paul has also been mentioned. So look, by the way, this is a good plug Obviously, during baseball season, I talk Rangers almost exclusively. If there's something big going on in Cowboys world, Mavericks world, Texas Longhorns, I also cover them. But Rangers are the first and foremost on this channel, 100%. We'll do, I don't know, probably 100 times more Rangers content than anything else. But once the baseball season comes to a close, we do Mavericks, we do Cowboys, we do college football, Texas Longhorns. Look, if you're not a Longhorns fan, you like the Aggies or you like another team in Texas, come and do some trolling, do some good trolling, all in good fun. But those are the teams that I cover outside of the Rangers when baseball season has come to a close. We always talk Rangers in the offseason. I do a weekly offseason show, but I would love to talk about anything Mavs, Cowboys, Rangers, college football, Longhorns. It's great. So if you're a fan of any of those teams, I hope you come along. Yeah, I'll still do streams. Like last year, we did streams after every Cowboys game. We did streams after every Texas Longhorns college football game. I did some streams after Mavericks games, but I didn't do a ton. I did a few streams after Mavs games, but it wasn't a lot. I think the most I did was when AD first got back. Like I went live right after AD, his first game against Houston where he got hurt. But I didn't do as many Mavs afterwards. Look, if you like any of those teams, Mavs, Longhorns, Cowboys, come and hang out in the fall once baseball season's over. It'll be great. It'll be great. Malcolm Moore update. Hardchuck, you got it? I don't have it. You got it? Buyers or sellers, Rangers at the deadline? I think that the Rangers are going to have to wait and see here, right? Are you going to put together a nice string of games or are you going to fall flat on your face? Don't know if they'll add or subtract. I think it's going to depend on how well they do over the next 2 to 3 weeks. Hey, Eric, hopefully you'll be around a little bit more this weekend, my guy, with the Mariners coming to Arlington. That will definitely be a great series. I'm really looking forward to this weekend. You want Adolis Garcia. Phillies fan, you want Adolis Garcia? I think Adolis Garcia is going to go to an NL team. I don't know which team, but I think he is going to go to an NL team, either in the offseason or at the trade deadline, depending on how the Rangers do down the stretch. Appreciate the follow, by the way. Chase, thanks, man. Appreciate that. Any opinions on trades? Well, you got to go strengthen up the bullpen, and I think you got to go get a legitimate bat. Those are the two areas that I would like to see filled more than anything. Legitimate bat, if you're a buyer, and obviously a big leverage, high leverage guy at the back of the pen, doesn't have to be like a big name. That I think would be huge. Absolutely. You went to Globe Life for Arkansas TCU? Nice. Jaron Duran would be nice, but Jace, the only thing about Duran is clearly he plays an outfield position. You've got a lot of outfielders. I really do think they want to give Osuna, Carter an opportunity to win out those spots. And I will throw in Sebastian Walcott into the mix. I do see, assuming Josh Jung has a solid rest of the year, I do see Walcott potentially being in the fold for outfield. He spent a little time out there in the outfield this year. He's also spent some time at third base. Coincidence? Josh Jung struggling a little bit. Walcott getting some third base reps. I think he's played third base about 3 times in the last 2 weeks, has Sebastian Walcott. So for my Josh Jung truthers out there, and look, I love Josh Jung. I'm just leaning into it right now. I think it is a little curious that Walcott is playing some third base. I hope Carter gets hot for sure. Eugenio Suarez, half-season rental for him. If you can get him and not have to give up anybody crazy, maybe. I think, though, Suarez profiles a lot like a Garcia to me. Don't y'all kind of feel that? Garcia is not having as good of a year as Suarez, so let me just be clear. but it kind of feels a lot like that all or nothing home run or strikeout. I don't know. I just don't know. I would probably rather have somebody else over Suarez, but he is having a good year. Heim is not having an awesome year. He's not having an awesome year. Josh, are you talking about me giving Josh Jung a hard time? Is that what you're talking about? But look, I'm happy to eat crow. Josh Jung had a great game today. Let's see if he can do it against Seattle. I think we've got to leave it there for right now. Can he do it against Seattle? He did homer today. It's one game. I'm happy about it. I don't root for players to fail. I think you got to remember that. I don't think that Josh Jung's struggles were debatable. The dude was struggling over his last 30 to 40 games, was hitting well under 200. We just got to speak things out loud sometimes. I'm just the messenger. Josh Jung was not in a good way over the past probably 5 or 6 weeks. He had a great game tonight. I hope that it continues against Seattle. I really do. Hope the Mariners are looking at Naylor and Suarez. Just ready to sell the farm. Just not ready to sell the farm. We'll see what they do. We'll see what they do, man. We'll keep going here. Appreciate all y'all. Y'all are going back about the Phillies. We'll see what they do. Phillies have got some really good players. Are they going to put it together? We'll see. I think I kind of said about the Phillies, and I'm not trying to rub it in or be a troll here. So Phillies fan one, don't take this the wrong way. I just kind of wonder out loud about the Phillies. Did they miss their opportunity? Like, you had the opportunity in 2023. I thought it was going to be Phillies Rangers. Like I did. I thought it was going to be Phillies Rangers. I feel like Phillies may have missed the boat with the current squad. Maybe I'm wrong. But I did say that out loud last offseason. I just don't know if the Phillies are going to be able to get over the hump with this core of players. And by the way, I like a lot of the core. I like Bryce Harper, one of my favorite non-Rangers. Kyle Schwarber's awesome. And they've got a number of other dudes as well. Zach Wheeler's a good player. But I just am kind of a jury still out mentality on whether or not I think the Phillies are going to be able to get over the hump. O's are definitely trading. Phillies are trading Harper to the Rangers. Yes, please. Yes, please. If the Phillies are actually trading, I love Bryce Harper. One of my favorite non-Rangers. Just said that. From Las Vegas. So I like the connection there. Bryce is definitely a guy I would be in favor of Texas getting, if you can get him. The only thing about Bryce is that is a long contract, man. You thought the Seager deal was long? You're going to have Bryce for a long time. You'd almost think the Phillies might be open to moving off of it if they could. But Bryce is such a great player. I wouldn't be trading him away easily. The O's, we might be able to get some of the O's pieces. I think that definitely is in the mix, 100%. All right, y'all. We are going to start wrapping things up a little bit here. We're not probably going to be live before Friday's game unless something crazy happens in Rangers news, which I don't anticipate, but you never know. But I'll probably have a couple videos out. I'm going to continue on with my off-day series. Tomorrow's an off day. I've been doing an off-day series called This Day in Rangers History. So we're going to go back in the archives. We're going to figure out what happened June 26th. Tomorrow's June 26th. We're going to go back all the games that have ever happened on June 26th. Yes, we will. Homework assignment. And we are going to find the best one or one of the most interesting ones we can, and we'll have a full breakdown. This Day in Rangers History, June 26th. Off-day special. Off-day series special. And then we'll probably do a deGrom video. We got to set people straight on deGrom. We got to set people straight on Jacob deGrom, the best pitcher on the planet. Let's see. How about Josh Jung? Trevor, he got me tonight. Let's see if he can get me over the course of the whole season. And I hope he does. Because if Josh Jung is doing this, the Rangers are probably winning ball games. The stats and the slump was undeniable with Josh. I don't think I spoke a whole lot of lies. Urgency is of the utmost importance. Your season's hanging in the balance. It's about time. I think we can all say that about Josh Jung. It's about time, bro. 133 ABs without a home run. That's some kind of dry spell. So I'm glad for Josh. Obviously happy for his success. I don't root for anybody on the Rangers to fail ever, despite the videos that I put out. We try and inject truth serum where we can. And you know what? If we're wrong, it probably means that the Rangers are doing well. And so we shall see how Josh Jung does this weekend. I am very, very curious. ZG, it has been a good night. And it'll be a better night if Houston can lose to the Phillies 1-0 still in the middle of the sixth. Come on. Phillies, let's go. Zach Wheeler, did he give up a homer or something? What happened? Nope, just a double or a double and a single. Bummer. Is it Brown versus Wheeler tonight, though? No, it's Gordon. Gordon versus Wheeler. It's not even like Hunter Brown on the mound tonight. Come on, Phillies. Come on. Josh, I don't think I gave up on Simeon. I don't think I gave up on him. I think my Simeon video, the main point that I made in the Simeon video was there's no plan B. Like, you've got to ride it out. If anything, I think I was correct on Simeon. I never said trade or DFA Simeon. If anything, I tried to school people who were trying to trade him and DFA him. Dude, there's no plan B. You've just got to hope that he comes around. So I would say same thing for Josh Jung. One good game doesn't mean my video is suddenly meaningless. Josh Jung has got to perform. Like, your season is hanging in the balance. He has got to perform. My video is still extremely relevant. I mean, we can clap back about one game all we want. Let's see if Josh Jung actually carries us to the playoffs. Let's see if Josh Jung puts the team on his back for more than one game. And if he does, I'll be extremely happy because that means the Rangers are probably having success. But nah, no giving up. No giving up on Marcus. We just said no plan B with Marcus. You've got to ride it out. And that's exactly what happened. And here we are. Marcus doing a lot better. This is why you didn't trade him. That's why you didn't DFA him. And look, there were never any DFA talks with Josh Jung either. But if the slump continues, consider an option. He's got 3 of them. Not a big deal. The Jake Berger reset special. Never killed anybody. We'll see how Josh does this weekend. I think he is going to be a big reason why the Rangers win or lose this weekend. That would be my guess. Big reason. We'll see what happens, y'all. All right. Final checks. Only 4 left on base tonight? Is that right? Dang. Wow. Good for us if that's the case. Normally it's like 12 or 13. Normally it is something ridiculous. Okay, so homework assignments. Figure out what the best Rangers game of all time was on June 26th since 1972. Look up Jacob deGrom's advanced stats and how they compare to top names in the game, Hunter Brown, Zach Wheeler, et al. And then also, we will do a little bit of work on a Jacob deGrom reel. Best pitcher in the game. I don't even care what the advanced stats say. We're still coming out with the Jacob deGrom best pitcher in the game reel. Only 4, though, left on base. That might be one of the best numbers of the night. Rangers, 4 left on base, 3 for 8 with runners in scoring position. The Orioles only left 1 on base. But that's because they got no hit for 7 innings. Actually, that's because they got perfect game for like 6, man. Look, Rangers, though, great night for them. Awesome night. Josh Jung, Marcus Simeon, Jonah Heim, and then, of course, Jacob deGrom. All outstanding nights for those guys. Rangers win 7-0. They take the series against the Orioles 2 games out of 3. They improved to 40-41. Last thing we do for the night, let's check out the standings, and then we are going to call it good. MLB standings right now. Rangers, obviously still some distance between them and first place in the AL West. The Rangers are 7 games out behind Houston right now. Look, everybody in the AL West is on a win streak at this moment in time. Nobody's on a losing streak. So AL West slowly gaining a little more respect. Maybe. Rangers 2.5 games out of a wild card spot, though. 2.5 games out of a wild card spot. Here we go. All right, y'all. You have a great rest of your Wednesday night. Thank you so much for all the support. Special thank you to all of my paid members on YouTube and paid subscribers on TikTok. Started that up about a month ago. Look, there's tons of ways to support the channel. If you want to take it to the next level, consider a $2.99 per month subscription. Gets you access to our exclusive Ride on Rangers Discord, which has been an absolute blast over the past month. Tons of good people in that chat. Helps keep the lights on around here. Helps me continue to keep building Ride on Rangers into an even more legitimate voice in Rangers baseball. And you guys are a big, big part of that. So thank you so much. If you're on YouTube and you're interested in joining, I will drop the link in the chat. But please know, all support, none of it is taken for granted. Thank you for everybody that followed today, the likes, the comments, the shares, everything. I appreciate it so much. And we'll be back after an off day tomorrow on Friday, ready to bring y'all more outstanding live play-by-play, colored commentary, and post-game analysis. It's going to be great. Come back and hang out again. And like I said, enjoy the rest of your evening. And as I always say to end every show, God bless and go Rangers.